Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Al Munir High School e-learning system, class 9. This is your physics lecture. Yes, we are going to learn and discuss the remaining part 2 of unit number 6. This is your physics book title page for class 9. Yes, we are discussing our unit number 6. Our next topic is major sources of energy. What are the major sources of energy? The energy we use comes from the sun. So the main source of energy is the sun, wind and water power which naturally occurs. Actually, all the energy we get comes directly or indirectly from the main source, which is the sun. Fossil fuels, we use fossil fuels. What are the fossil fuels? Coal, oil and gas to heat our houses and run industry and transport. All these things are called the fossil fuels which we get from the underground sources. They are usually hydrocarbons. They are the compounds of carbon and hydrogen. When they are burned, they combine with oxygen from the air. The carbon becomes carbon dioxide. Hydrogen becomes hydrogen oxide called water, while energy is released as heat. In case of coal, look at these chemical reactions. Carbon oxygen react to form carbon dioxide and heat energy is produced. Hydrocarbon reacts with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, water and heat energy. So these fossil fuels took millions of years for their formation. They are also known as non-renewable resources because we are using fossil fuels at a very fast rate. Their use is increasing day by day to meet our energy needs. If we continue to use them at present rate, they will soon be exhausted. Once their supply is exhausted, the world would face serious energy crisis because we obtain all our energy from these fossil fuels. Thus, fossil fuels would not be able to meet our future energy needs. This would cause serious social and economical problems for countries like us. Therefore, we must use them wisely and at the same time develop new energy sources for our future survival. Moreover, fossil fuels release harmful waste products. These wastes include carbon monoxide and other harmful gases which pollute our environment. This causes serious health problems such as carbon monoxide can cause headache, tension, nausea, allergic reactions, irritation of eyes, nose and throat. Long exposure to these harmful gases may cause asthma, lungs cancer, and heart diseases, and even damage our brain, nerves, and other organs of our body. So, these waste products or harmful waste products are very harmful for our health. Nuclear fuels. In nuclear power plants, we get energy as a result of fusion reaction. During fusion reaction, heavy atoms such as uranium atom split up, divide हो जाते हैं into smaller parts, releasing a larger amount of energy. So during fusion reaction, we get large amount of energy because it releases large amount of energy and it splits up into smaller parts. Nuclear power plants give out a lot of nuclear radiations and vast amount of heat as well. As a part of this heat is used to run power plants, while lot of heat goes waste into our environment. Renewable energy sources, sunlight and water powers are the renewable sources of energy. They will not run out like coal, oil and gas. So we must use sunlight to generate energy. Energy from water power is very cheap. Dams are being constructed at suitable locations in different parts of the world. Dams serves many purposes. They help to control floods by storing water. The water stored in dams is used for irrigation purposes and also to generate electrical energy without creating much environmental problem. So dams are very necessary for all of us because it stores water, and the water can be used for irrigation purposes and to generate electrical energy without creating much environmental problems. Then we have other topic, which is energy from the sun. Solar energy, yes, it is the modern energy we can get from the sun easily. Is the energy coming from the sun and is used directly and indirectly. Sunlight does not pollute the environment in any way. The sun rays are the ultimate source of life on the earth. We are depend on the sun for all our food and fuels. If we find a suitable method to use a fraction of the solar energy reaching the earth, then it would be enough to fulfill our energy requirement. Solar house heating, the use of solar energy is now not new. However, its use in houses and offices as well as for commercial and industrial purposes is quite recent. Yes, we are converting our energy sources, and we can easily get the solar energy to run the appliances in our houses, offices, and also on commercial industrial purposes. Complete solar house heating systems are successfully used in areas with a minimum amount of sunshine in winter. A heating system consists of a collector, a storage device, a distribution system. So here we have a solar house heating system. Here we have the sun rays, aluminium foil, glass cover, copper tubing. Here we have the roof. So this is the main solar house heating system. Hot water runs into these tubes by the pump, then hot water into the taps. Here we have the heat exchanger. Figure 6.21 shows a solar collector made of glass panels over blank metal plates. So here we have the glass panels over, here we have the metal plates. The plates observe the sun's energy which heats a liquid flowing in the pipes at the back of the collector. The hot water can be used for cooking, washing, and heating buildings. Solar energy is used in solar cookers, solar distillation plants, solar power plants. What are the solar cells? Solar energy can also be converted directly into electricity by solar cells. So a solar cell, can also called photocell, is made from the silicon wafer. When sunlight falls on a solar cell, it converts the light energy directly into electrical energy. So here we have the solar panels on the top of the roof. So when light falls on the solar cell, it converts the light directly into electrical energy. So solar cells are used in calculators, watches, toys. Large number of solar cells are wired together to form solar panels. Solar panels can provide power to telephone booths, lighthouses, scientific research centers. Solar panels are also used to power satellites. Several other methods to trap sunlight are underway. If scientists could find an efficient and an inexpensive method to use solar energy. Next, we have the wind energy. Wind has been used as a source of energy for centuries. It has powered sailing ships across the oceans. It has been used by windmills. So here we have the windmills. Many countries are generating electricity with the help of the by using the wind energy with the help of these wind turbines. It has been used by windmills to grind grain and pump water. More recently, wind power is used to turn wind turbines. When many wind machines are grouped together on wind farm, they can generate enough power to operate a power plant. In United States and some other countries, some wind farms generate more than 1300 megawatts of electricity per day. In Europe, many wind farms routinely generate 100 megawatts or more electricity of a day. What is geothermal energy? In some parts of the world, the earth provides us hot water for geysers and hot springs. There is hot molten part deep in the earth called magma. Water reaching close to the magma changes to steam due to the high temperature of magma. This energy is called the geothermal energy. Look at this figure 6.25. It is showing the geothermal power station. So here we have the magma, the hot area underground, the earth, under the earth. Here we have the cold water. When it passes through near the magma, it gets hot and we can easily get the steam. Geothermal well can be built by drilling deep near hot rocks at places where magma is not very deep. Water is then pushed down into the well. The rocks quickly heat the water and change it into the steam. It expands and moves up to the surface. The steam can be piped directly into houses and offices for heating purposes, or it can be used to generate the electricity. Next, energy from biomass. What is biomass? Biomass is plant or animal waste that can be burned as a fuel. Other forms of biomass are garbage, farm waste, sugarcane and other plants. These wastes are used to run power plants. So we can use the biomass, the garbage and farm waste and sugarcane waste to run the power plants. Many industries that use forest products get half of their electricity by burning bark and other wood waste. Biomass can serve as another energy source, but problems are there in its use. When animal dung, dead plants, and dead animals decompose, they give off a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. Electricity can be generated by burning the methane gas. Next, we have the topic of mass energy equation. Einstein predicted the interconversion of mass and energy. According to Einstein, a loss in the mass of a body provides a lot of energy. This happens in nuclear radiations. The relation between mass m and energy E is given by the Einstein mass energy equation. Here we have the equation of mass and energy. Energy is equal to mass and c square. Here c is the speed of the light, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. So you must learn and remember this value, which is speed of light. The above equation shows that tremendous amount of energy can be obtained from small quantity of matter. It appears that matter is highly concentrated form of energy. The process of getting energy from our nuclear power plants is based on the above equation. Electricity from fossil fuels. Yes, we also get electricity from fossil fuels. We are using electricity in houses, offices, schools, business centers, factories, and even in farms. We have different ways of generating electricity. Most of the electricity is obtained by using fossil fuels such as oil, gas, and coal. Fossil fuels are burned in thermal power stations to produce the electricity. Chemical energy stored in fossil fuels converted into heat energy, then it is converted into potential, then it is converted into mechanical energy, and the last electricity output from an electric generator is produced. Next, we have the topic of energy and our environment. Environmental problems such as pollution. Pollution is the main problem of our environment that consists of noise pollution, air pollution, water pollution may arise by using different sources of energy as well as fossil fuels and nuclear energy. Pollution is the change in the quality of environment that can be harmful and unpleasant for living things. So this is the definition of pollution. A temperature rise in the environment that disturb life is called the thermal pollution. Thermal pollution upsets the balance of life and endangers the survival of many species. So अगर हमारे एटमॉस्फेयर का टेम्परेचर राइज हो जाएगा, ज़्यादा हीट प्रोड्यूस हो जाएगी, ज़्यादा हॉट हो जाएगा, तो ये हमारी लाइफ को डिस्टर्ब कर देगा. सो वी कॉल इट द थर्मल pollution. Air pollutants are also unwanted and harmful substances present in our air, natural processes such as volcanic eruption, forest fires, dust storms, add pollution or pollutants into our air. These pollutants rarely build up to harmful levels. On the other hand, the burning of fuel and solid waste in homes, automobiles, factories releases harmful amount of air pollutants. All power plants produce waste heat, but fusion plants produce the most produce the most part of heat as a waste. The heat released into a lake, a river, or ocean upset the balance of life in them. Unlike other power plants, nuclear power plants do not produce carbon dioxide, but they do produce dangerous radioactive waste. In many countries, governments have passed law to control the air pollution. Some of these laws limit the amount of pollution that power plants, factories, and automobiles are allowed to give up. To meet these conditions, for automobiles, new cars have catalytic converters. These devices convert some polluting gases. The use of lead free petrol has greatly reduced the amount of lead in the air, which is also harmful for our health. Engineers are working to improve new kinds of car engines that use electricity or sources or energy sources other than diesel and petrol. Many individual communities have laws which protect their areas for pollution. So all these laws can help us in reducing the pollution in our environment. This flow diagram of an energy converter. In an energy converter, a part of the energy taken up by the system is converted into useful work. Remaining part of the energy is dissipated as heat energy, sound energy, noise into the environment. Energy flow diagrams given below show the energy taken up by an energy converter to transform it into the other forms. So here we have these flow diagrams. It is showing the different conversions of the energy. Next, look at figure 6.28, an electric drill. What is efficiency? Efficiency of a system is the ratio of required form of energy obtained from a system as output to the total energy given to it as input. So how to get work done from a machine? We provide some form of energy to a machine. So we provide electrical energy to a machine. This is necessary for the machine to start and work. Human machine also needs energy to do a variety of work. We take food to fulfill the energy needs of our body. We give some form of energy to machines as a input. So it will be electric energy as an input to get useful work done by them as output. For example, electric motors may be used to pump water, to blow air, and different examples of this. The ratio of useful output to input energy is very important to judge the working of a machine. It is called the efficiency of the machine. So the ratio of useful output to input energy is very important to judge the working of machine, and it is called the efficiency. So here we have the formula for the efficiency. Efficiency is equal to required form of output over total input energy into 100. An ideal system is that which gives an output equal to the total energy used by it. In other words, its efficiency is 100%. People have tried to design a working system that would be 100% efficient, but practically such a system does not exist which work perfectly 100% efficiency. Here we have example 6.5. A cyclist does 12 joules of useful work while pedaling his bike. From every 100 joules of food energy which he takes, what is the efficiency? So useful work done by cyclist is 12 joules, which is given. Energy used by the cyclist is 100 joules, which is also given. To find the efficiency, we divide it. So here we have 0.12, it is the efficiency, and to find the percent energy we multiply it by 100 to get it the answer in the percent. So the efficiency of the cyclist is 12%. Next topic is about the power. What is power? Power is defined as the rate of doing work. So power is equal to work done over time taken, P is equal to W over T. Two persons have done equal work. One took 1 hour to complete it and the other completed it in 5 hours. Note that both of them have done equal work, but they differ in the rate at which work is done. One has done it faster than the other. The quantity that tells us the rate of doing work is called the power. So we can easily find out the power by dividing work done over time taken. Since work is a scalar quantity, therefore power is also a scalar quantity. SI unit of power is watt. So the power of a body is 1 watt if it does work at the rate of 1 joule per second. Bigger units are 1 kilowatts, which is equal to 1000 watts, and 1 megawatt is also the bigger unit, and 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watts. A man M1 takes 80 seconds in lifting a load of 200 Newton through a height of 10 meters, while another man M2 takes 10 seconds in doing the same job. Find the power. So here we have the values. Force is 200 Newton, distance is 10 meter, time taken by first man 80 seconds, second man 10 seconds. So work done is F into S is 2000 joules. Power of first man work over T1 by putting the values, which is 20, answer will be 25 watts. And to find out the power of the M2, we have to divide the work over T2, the time taken. By dividing it, we will get the answer, which is 200 watts. Thus the power of man M1 is 25 watts and that of man M2 is 200 watts. Example 6.7, mass of water is given, height is given, time is given, force required. We know that force is equal to the weight. By multiplying it, we will get the force. Work done is equal to F into S. By multiplying the both values of force and distance, we will get the work done, which is 11200 joules. To calculate the power, which is equal to the W over T. So power is, by calculating the values, we will get the power, which is 1120 watts. 1 horsepower is 746 watts. So to find the power, we will divide 1 horsepower over we will divide the power by 1 horsepower. Answer will be 1.5 horsepower. The power of the pump is 1.5 horsepower. This is all for today. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.